told you I would find you.
We're born with nothing. We die alone.
Welcome back, everyone. You'll notice we're in a different place. We are definitely not in the Enclave. And I need to tell you why. So what we're gonna do is a classic story time, where I have to fill in some gaps with the art of storytelling. So, as we always do, there will be a little annotation or a timestamp that pops up that says if you want to skip story time, which I don't recommend doing for this is big stuff, then you can, and you can get right into the gameplay where we're going to pick up. But for those of you who want to stick around, welcome to story time. All right, here we go. So where we left off last time, we were taken down, and instead of waking with a splitting headache like we usually would, we went to some strange place. We touched a thing and then wound up back in the Enclave. That's never, ever happened before. So needless to say, very thrown off. We've been to the Enclave many, many times after falling in battle. But that extra step, like a back door, so to speak, to get to the Enclave, we had to go through instead of just going right to it. So, needless to say, thrown off. Anyway, when we get there, you know, we turn around, go to walk up and do our normal thing. There are three individuals who we've never seen before. One of them knew our name and said, "Harmony, I told you I would find you." That, if that happens to throw any of you off, speaking of being thrown off, we're floating. There we go. All right, let's, there we go. That's pretty. All right, Harmony, I told you I would find you. Which, maybe not in those specific words, but the note that we had received that said, you know, we've been looking for you. We'll speak to you when the time is right. There's what that means. Basically, the middle individual with the mask and with the hood, you know, basically said, got my note, and here we are. How did we get here? Is probably what you're wondering. Who are we? Another thing you're probably wondering. Well, let me tell you. How we got here is through that back door, so to speak, into the Enclave. The same back door that you had to go through. We basically have been watching you, following you. Any feelings that you may have had about being watched or followed, they're very true. But we don't want that to alarm you, because we need you. We want you to join us in our quest, in our fight. You know, basically a very noble cause that we have. But we couldn't approach you directly because we have to operate in secret. And so, okay, you know, lots of information to take in. How we discovered this back door, it's very obvious. We watched you. You know, anytime you would fall, we would notice this disappearing thing. And then we also noticed where you would appear. That Enclave stone out in kind of the middle of the field or whatever. While we ourselves couldn't directly go to the Enclave stone, when we tried to use it, we wound up in this mysterious crystal backdoor area, so to speak. Don't have an official name for it. I haven't thought of one anyway. So that's, they discovered the back door by basically watching and following Harmony. So once we figured out that while in that crystal place, we're not trapped, but then we could gain access to the Enclave. Now, we didn't let the people, or the person, the one Nephilim in the Enclave know that we were there. We didn't want to arouse any suspicion that, well, we were watching, scouting, following. Because surely enough, if Harmony shows up and, hey, there's people looking for you, that would just throw off everything. We wanted to see your natural progression, your natural development just unfold on its own. But that's not to say that we didn't have some hand in it. So, you know, needless to say, Harmony, it's like feeling a little violated. She's been watched and followed this whole journey. She had the suspicion, multiple times, multiple locations, a suspicion of we're being watched, we're being followed. So she's not feeling too great about that. But she wants to hear them out and at least see where this is going. So that's person in the mask. So that's how we got to here. Nothing too special about that. It's just putting, all right, you were here, then you appeared here. So what's going on in between? We figured that out. No big deal. Now let's talk about why you, and a little bit about who we are. Why you? Well, we've been, you know, obviously watching for a long time. You're quite powerful, quite resourceful, quite intelligent, and we know that you have been striving and looking for and seeking purpose, consciously or unconsciously, for your entire life, which that entire life thing kind of throws Harmony off. Like, wait, if you've only been watching me since here, how could it be my entire life? To which, you know, she asks, what do you mean my entire life? How would you know these things? And the hooded man says, I've known you longer than just these few seconds. But we'll save that story for another time. Which, wait, what? You know, Harmony, what? I know no one except for the people I've met along the way. The Vigilance, all the way back around to the Vigilance. She doesn't have any memory of this person at all. So needless to say, violated, now thrown off, and just all these emotions and thoughts and things like that. Anyway, like I said, we'll save that story for another time, when you're ready. When all of this is ready. Let me tell you a little bit about who we are. Like I said, we're a group that has to operate in secret. We do operate on the side of the Imperials and the side of the Thalmor, which immediately Harmony's kind of, you know, I don't know about all that. I've tried to remain very neutral in all of this. While we do operate and are funded by this side, we don't 100% necessarily adhere to all their rules and all their standards, and that's why we've kind of splintered off on our own, but we do share a couple of common goals. One is that the Stormcloaks are the bane of existence of this whole Skyrim, Tamriel area. They've affected all of us directly. For example, this gentleman to my right. This is Upfish Sinclair. He is an Imperial. He's, you know, from the city. Grew up, even though it's a very prosperous area, he grew up very poor. But he, you know, got by on the means that he could. Scratched and clawed and scratched and clawed and worked and worked and worked his, you know, basically since he was a child up to a teenager into a young adult, into his 20s and 30s and things like that, worked very, 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 very hard. And then he fell upon even harder times than he already had. And he had a family to provide for, wife and 2 children. And so, because of that, he got desperate. And he started stealing. And he was very, very good. In fact, probably the best thief at all. You know, out of everyone, probably the best thief. At least, and this is the man in the mask telling all of this, he's the best one that I ever saw. Because I've been watching a lot of this for, well, quite some time. So needless to say, I was aware of Upfish. Not him, necessarily, and his story. I found all of that out later, but his abilities. something that could potentially be useful to someone like me. But then one day, when he was venturing out, he was caught, and he was imprisoned by the Stormcloaks, who then not only proceeded to imprison him for his crimes, but then took it even further and would beat him and torture him. Things that are uncalled for. Sure, if you steal a loaf of bread, that doesn't necessarily justify this punishment, now does it? To which Harmony, you know, yes, we understand those kinds of things. It's not like he in turn tortured and murdered and did all this other stuff. He just, you know, stole what he needed for his family to survive. So I felt that was unjust, and I offered him a second chance, so to speak, a renewal, if you will. I offered to provide for him and his family if he would just simply join with me in my cause. So he paid to get him out of prison. He didn't break him out. He didn't need to break him out. The masked individual has means. So he got him out of prison, paid what needed to be paid, and started honing and teaching. Thus, if you remember the end of The Way of the Thief, where he said, "You're my greatest pupil," that's because of Fish and this guy, they go back. Greatest pupil, he showed him a lot. Showed him a lot of ways. The art of stealth, how to blend in, things of that nature. But just having a thief wasn't enough to complete this group. We needed another who was very attuned to the ways of magic. And that would be, to my left, Dumbledore the Half-Dead. Which, you know, Harmony's like, half-dead? She's, you know, knows what undead is, but half-dead. Well, this Dumbledore accelerated in the arts of magic. You know, attended the College of Winterhold, did very well, but, you know, wanted to seek his own path and not necessarily follow what the college had in store for him. So, going out, learning more about the magic around the world, globe traveler, if you will. All of Tamriel, just very well versed, very smart, intelligent, informed, knows tons about magic. And then, you know, word got out. So he would, for extra money, do some parlor tricks, you know, hey, I can do this. But he'd also take on tasks and jobs that did require magic. He would, you know, offer his insight and research, knowledge and prowess and all that to people. And then one day he was tasked with a challenge. That challenge was to basically develop a spell for a couple of individuals who just said, "We will pay you a lot of money. We know you're doing okay, but we will pay you a significant amount of money in order to create this spell, one that had never been done." And that was resurrection, but not just the what we know in Skyrim, you and I, soap, watcher, viewer, listener, reader. This was someone's dead and they're back, like back, without any side effects at all. They're just back. Now, why would a couple of individuals who are well-funded want something like that? Turns out they're Stormcloaks. And if they're getting ready to be involved in the Civil War, they're going to need something like that because they're vastly outnumbered, outmanned, and outfunded, if you will, by the Imperial Army. And so Dumbledore, no real allegiance, I mean, high elf, trained by everybody, says, "You know what? I've heard of a few things here and there in my travels, and all of this." And so he proceeds to try to create this new permanent resurrection spell. And when things aren't going quite the right way, the Stormcloaks in their typical fashion start spewing their racist names, things of that nature, and imprison him, and basically just say, you were stuck here until you get this done. Now, they don't have anything to hold over him as far as like a family. He's been a lone wanderer, lone traveler for many years. So they know they don't have that. But, you know, he has his knowledge. And what good is all that knowledge if he just retains it? He obviously needs to share it to those. So in order for him to sit there and think, okay, for me to get out of this, I have to create this, just keeps working day and night, and week after week, month after month, and nothing. And the beatings just get more and more severe. And so he's just one day working, spell, all of this good stuff. Stormcloaks come in there and interrupt him. Something in the spell backfires, and it kills him. That, if you are familiar with the way of the executioner, is the accident that indeed did kill Dumbledore. Not only did it kill Dumbledore, it killed all of the Stormcloaks in that area. Massive devastation. It was enormous. It was just boom, Death Star exploding. The beginning of Lord of the Rings, whenever Sauron goes down. You know that? Oh, that's what it was. It was devastation. Certainly, this was heard by many people all around. Lots of people flocked to the area to see what all this was. They just see rubble and decay and things burning and smoking and cinders and things like that. And certainly people sift through the rubble. Some of them are, you know, basically like the scavengers, so to speak, like, oh, there could be something good in here, loot, whatever. Others, obviously, in there, get the bodies out, things of that nature. But our masked individual was also one of those people and could detect, could even smell some very, very powerful magic was at play. And so he looks around and all he sees are a couple of, you know, Stormcloaks, citizens that just happen to be caught in the area in the blast, and then this high elf who's dead. And so basically, through some things that this masked individual has learned along the way, and in his past life, if you will, he resurrects Dumbledore, but not to the extent of what the Stormcloaks were looking for Dumbledore to do. But straight up, he's resurrected, and it's not temporary. I mean, it's permanent resurrection, but there are some unfortunate side effects. For example, his look, he no longer has his, you know, flowing gold hair. It's black. His beard, black. Skin has become this almost rusted, oxidized, greenish, brownish kind of color. Basically, anything that distinguished him as a high elf was gone. Of course, lost some other important things in the blast, like digits off of his hands, off of his toes. His high elf was gone as well. So, yeah, you know, it wasn't a regeneration, it was just a resurrection. And so he was healed up for some things, not able to regenerate everything, hence why he always is wearing more or less full clothes, scars on the face. And after a discussion between the two, the masked individual and Dumbledore, as far as what happened, the masked individual thought, okay, I knew there was some untapped magic, something very powerful here. I'm going to offer him, similar to what he did with Upfish, a second chance. A chance at redemption and a chance at revenge. And then, when the time was right, unleashed him upon Skyrim. That's the way of the executioner. Which brings us to now, Harmony. And so, Harmony, of course, interrupts and says, whoa, whoa, whoa. What about you? Who are you, masked individual? He then says, again, I will tell you my story when the time is right. But all I ask now is for you to join us, and reaches out his hand. This, of course, triggers some of the flashbacks we've had. The join us, the find me. The voices, if you will, the voices are starting to line up to where this individual's voice is the one we've been hearing. So she right away is like, you're the voice in my head. I haven't seen, I mean, I can recognize parts of the face. We've seen the face before, but your voice, we know it. You've been in my head for a long time. Says, yes, I know. That will also be explained in time. But what we're simply asking is for you to join us. Now, Harmony thinking to herself, obviously, some very powerful individuals are in front of her. It would be a death sentence, possibly permanent, to just, you know, try to take on these individuals. So that wouldn't be smart. But then she's starting to think, well, what qualms do I have with the Stormcloaks or the Imperials? I mean, we're in the middle of all of this. Not like thrust into the middle, but we have no real dog in the fight. And so she asked the masked individual, why would I join you? I have no reason. Everything I know to now says that I shouldn't join you. Fair enough, man in the mask says. One incentive is that I know how you got to that Hall of the Vigilant when you were a child. Like I said, I've known who you are for a very, very long time. Well, at the very least, I can give you that information. There is more. If you wish to seek it, you must join us. And on top of that, fulfill your destiny, Dragonborn. So, obviously, that's not a shock to Harmony that they know that she's Dragonborn. She's been shouting all over the place, not really keeping it a secret at all. But it hits her right here in the heart. It's like, ooh. Fulfill your destiny, Dragonborn. That's feeling like a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, which is something that Harmony has kind of been lost of. You know, there are times it's like, hey, we feel we're going the right way, and then we're going this way. Hey, we're going, now we're back over here. But that fulfill your destiny, that, you know, that seems like a path, a vision, a goal, a purpose. So Harmony's thinking about it. This is a long story time, a very long one, I realize. So Harmony's thinking about it. Thinking. You know, just kind of puts her head down and is thinking. And before she can say anything, says, I can also tell you I came to be a Nephilim. So this individual knows a lot. Granted, she hasn't quite hidden it, the Nephilim thing. But she's hidden it a lot more than the whole Dragonborn thing, for sure. That's been something that she's almost been ashamed of in a way, but then embraces it. So at this point, she thinks, you know what? Other than possibly dying, what... Oh, my controller turned off, so it stopped spinning. There we go. So other than possibly dying, if we say no, which they haven't threatened death. So that's also something to consider. But they're obviously, these three individuals, especially the masked one, is very, very, very powerful, very well-funded. The Splinter Cell group. She said, okay. Okay. But you must tell me how you know the things you know. He says, I promise, you have my word, but in due time. First, fulfill your destiny. Go take the lexicon to Signus, which is where we're at right now. And one more thing, Harmony, before you go. Turns around, yes. He says, welcome to the Fallen. And here we go. Story time is over. We're at Septimus Signus's outpost. Ooh, dear readers. There's the name of the series. There's where it comes from. The group. All right. That was 20 plus minutes of story time. That's been saving up that one for a while. Hopefully you guys like that story. Now everything, the trilogy is now tied together. All right, Septimus.
When the top level was built, no more could be placed. It was and is the maximal apex.
I've inscribed a lexicon. It's been a while, but we did.
Give it quickly. Extraordinary. I see it now. The ceiling structure interlocks in the tiniest fractals. Dwemer blood can loose the hooks, but none alive remain to bear it. A panoply of their brethren could gather to form a facsimile. A trick. Something they did not anticipate. No, not even them. The blood of Altmer, Bosmer, Dunmer, Falmer, and Orsimer. The elves still living. Bear you hence this extractor. It will drink the fresh blood of elves. Come when its set is complete.
Okay, we gotta harvest some blood. Blood, oh. Look into my eyes. Okay. Well, that wasn't there when we came in.
Come closer, bask in my presence.
Who are you?
I am Hermaeus Mora. I am the guardian of the unseen, a knower of the unknown. I have been watching you, mortal.
Been getting that a lot lately.
Most impressive.
Okay, what do you want of me?
Your continuing aid to Septimus renders him increasingly obsolete. He has served me well, but his time is nearing its end. Once that infernal lockbox is opened, he will have exhausted his usefulness to me. When that time comes, you shall take his place as my emissary. What say you?
No. We know all about Hermaeus Mora. No. We learned about Hermaeus Mora from the Vigilance. No.
Be warned. Many have thought as you do. I have broken them all. You shall not evade me forever.
Okay. I'm threatened by Hermaeus Mora. So now, I have to go harvest some blood, which there's one place that'll get like all of it except for the high elf. The high elf one is like, I think it halted stream cap, I think. But we're gonna go track down some blood. We'll see in a bit. All right, made it to halted stream camp. I'm gonna track down a couple of people. They're bandits. Definitely not innocents by any means. Oh, you think so? Oh, I don't think so. Oh, come on, Gabe. There you go. Think you're petty. Arrows do anything to me? Alright. What's going on over here? The Dawn Guard are here.
This ends now. This what you want?
Who else? There you are. I told you, people, stay away. Still getting shot from somewhere else. I see it.
Prepared to die. We are proud.
Oh, hopefully it is time to finish this. Oh, off with their head. Oof. Nothing of much use. Let's see where. Bad thing about having the upped foliage. Be a little tricky to find baddies. There we go. Let's see, do we have a knapsack? Don't. Alright. Put away our arrows. Aren't gonna need those for what we're doing. Yeah, other than obviously causing all this chaos, kind of our, like I said, we have a goal now, even though we still don't quite know what to make of all of it. We feel good. Like, yeah, this actually is what we're supposed to be doing. But we still, you know, need to see how this all plays out. Okay. Could have sworn there was at least one. You're not an elf. Thought I saw some pointy ears. Alright. Let's just head inside. Because I believe, at the very least, when we get, like, to the end, there's the high elf. Be having that. Do we have... Wait a minute, I know what we can do. Get Slay my lamb. There's at least an orc. Another one.
You won't get the best of me.
Think. There we go. Harvest. There's the dark elf. Excellent. Harvest. Orc. Hmm. Two-handed weapons. Not really our thing. Alright, so got a little bit of blood. There's the bandit chief's sword. So cool. Another. Alright. A bush. We'll take all that. We'll hit a level here in a moment after we complete some searching. Lesson! Like that. Oblivion. Could come in handy. Illusion spells. Cool set of armor. Transmute mineral ore. Give that a little bit of a read. Something that can help our alteration, if I recall correctly. Just pick up some mead. Alright. Let me just make sure that's what I think it is. Yep. Okay. Excellent. Don't have enough magic, huh? Boo. Okay. That will do quite nicely. That'll help us, you know, in kind of our spare time, alteration, so that way we can get our stone flesh finally. It'll really be useful. Of course, more ores that we can pick up. Not too concerned with that at the moment. Oops. Should be a high elf right out here. Excellent. Yep. Harvest blood from Link. Alright, so we got a few down, a few more to go. So let's level, of course, before I forget. Get all dumb somehow. I'm gonna bump up our magicka. Alteration's still a little low. We need to get a few more levels, get there. Stone flesh should be soon to follow. Resto's looking alright. Conjuration, no, we're not really dabbling as much with at the moment. Got that. Unlock. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good possibility. That mace is one. It's a good chance. Possibly. Possibly. Don't want to say anything just yet. Blocking. Blocking is more effective. Also, heavy armor though. Less stagger. The Gonzals, I mean... Right now, the block one, yeah, we'll do that. Definitely do that. Alright, so we're gonna head back and track down some more blood. See you in a bit. Here we are, ladies and jelly spoons. Let me turn that off. Liar's Retreat. We asked around a couple places if there was, you know, somewhere where the wretched hive, scum, villainy. It's like, what's going on? But we're blinking because rain's getting in our eyes. Subtle touch. Anyway, we're told, oh, this is by the people of Dragon Bridge. We are told, head this direction, kind of tucked away in the mountains, you'll find what you're looking for. So here we go. Here and serve some justice. Yes, hopefully you guys like where the story has come and that is at now and where it could be going. Yes, inside of Liar's Retreat, you will find every type of elf blood you need except for high elf. That's why we came here. Blood elf. Give him a search. Just They even got the bard. The bandit bard. Oh, you think so? We've been poisoned, apparently. Oof. A lot of Fulmer. A lot of Fulmer. It's one of the reasons we stocked up. Cure poison. Hurt a little bit. Oof, that also hurt a little bit. This. I had the wrong one. That's okay. He is not wanting to go. Die! Gotta step out. Get some heals. Knowing my luck, I got hit on the way out. That's exactly what happened. Alright. Nope, not that. Okay, where are we? Back in, jeez. Rough in the streets. Rough in the retreats. That's where I was going. Oof. Come Watch it. Watch it. Got two. Definitely want to line them up. More concerned about this one. There we go. Alright. Oof, direct hits. Can't. Oh, man. This is not good. This is not good. Let's... Yeah, we have nothing. Yeah, I think that's basically... We are a bit dead. Yep. Oh, wait. We're up. I can't swing. None of my buttons are working, except for that. That works. That works. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna leave. We're just gonna leave until I can figure out why this is happening. That was weird. Very weird. I wasn't expected like a, oh, well, something cool's happening and it was just a weird, like, can't swing. We can jump, we can bring up the menu, we can pause, we can wait. All right, I'm going to save and reload, not counting it as technical difficulty. Because, you know, Skyrim has little quirks every once in a while. So, give me a second. Be right back. Okay. Yeah, just saved and reload worked just fine.
Gone? Ah!
Gave the drain vitality. Oof. Right in the gullet. Get some. There we go. All blood down. We're gonna cook them up. Put them in a stew. Khajiit. Of course, you can hear the orc. If we needed it. We already got it. Alright. So we're gonna head out of here. Make that long journey back to Septimus. We'll see you in a second. Here we are. Alright, Septimus. Show us what this box has.
When the top level was built, no more could be placed. It was and is the maximal apex.
I've brought you all the blood.
I can almost hear them. I feel their life energy. Come, I will make the mixture.
Okay. Seems as if he injected it into himself. Alright, after you.
What is this? It's just a book. I can see. The world beyond burns in my mind. It's marvelous.
So much for Septimus. What are we wearing as a cowl? Would that replace... That is the question. Yeah, because this is minus 52. Damn. That would just be sweet. We wear both. Alright. Alright, let's read Dogma Infinium. Definitely unlike anything we've ever seen. Okay. Oh, here we go again.
Come, my champion.
What now?
Now, you have my Dogma Infinium. It contains the knowledge of the ages as revealed to Sarces, my loyal servant. For hundreds of years, it's been shut away from the world. Septimus was a useful tool for unleashing it. Now, it is in your hands. Let us work wonders together.
We didn't agree to work wonders. What could he mean? Whatever could he mean? Sea of knowledge rolls before you. Choose the section you wish to read. Might, shadow, magic. Interesting. Let's go with might. Smithing increased. Heavy armor increased. Block increased. Two-handed increased. Archery, eh. And two-handed, eh. No one-handed, though. Dang. Okay. And it whoosh, disappears. But we can level again. Hey! There we go. Alright, this time we shall bump our health. Alright. That would definitely help. Reduces incoming fire, frost, and shock damage by 50%. Very useful. Bashing does 5 times more damage. Also very useful. One-handed is now at 100. Yeah, what's at the top? It's that, yeah, backwards power attack stuff. It's like, what? I don't even do much power attacks anyway. Use too much stamina. Alright. Conjuration looking good. Restoration, okay. Alteration, enchanting. Smithing. We can do basic stuff. Alright. Heavy armor. Possibly. But the 2 blocks, though. 5 times more damage. Or... yeah, let's reduce that. That elemental protection. Alright. So, now we've taken that. Only thing now we have left to do, well, not the only thing. Oh, something I left out earlier. These little vampire things, we were told not to worry about them, that they would be taken care of. Now, how they were going to be taken care of, we don't know. We were just told, you know, focus, this Dragonborn thing, focus on that. We'll take care of this over here, so those will be okay. But we got a scroll we can read. Brynjolf and Dragonborn and all this other fun stuff, but Alduin's Bane is the next thing up. Oh, yes. Okay, we have to read the Elder Scroll at the Time Wound. Way back at the throat of the world, somewhere we have not been in quite a while. Quite a while. Not sure how we're going to be received. But we have a purpose. We have a direction. We have a vision. Let's go.